I'm Andreas Hamberger, and this is the Hamberger Report, where I cover AI governance, enterprise architecture, and the technology decisions that actually matter to the people who have to make them. If you find this useful, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more professionals find the channel. Now let's get into it. "62% of organizations are experimenting with AI agents. 40% of those projects will be cancelled by 2027. And only 6% of every organization spending money on artificial intelligence is seeing it show up in earnings." I'm Andreas Hamberger. This is the Hamberger Report, where I cover AI governance and what it means for the professionals who have to make it work. Those three numbers, 62-46, tell a story that neither the evangelists nor the skeptics want to hear. The agentic era is not coming. It arrived in 2025, but it arrived the way most technology transitions do, with more wreckage than the brochures promised, and more potential than the cynics admit. McKinsey surveyed nearly 2,000 participants across 105 countries in November 2025. 88% of organizations now use AI in at least one function. That number barely raises eyebrows anymore. What should raise eyebrows is where adoption stops. Nearly 2/3 remain stuck in experiment or pilot mode. Only about a third have genuinely scaled AI across functions. And only 6% qualify as high performers. Organizations reporting EBIT impact of 5% or more directly attributable to AI. 6%. Out of every 100 organizations spending money on artificial intelligence, 6 are seeing it in their earnings. The other 94 are running pilots, building demos, and writing strategy papers about a technology they have not yet rewired their organizations to absorb. For agents specifically, the numbers are sharper still. 23% say they are scaling agentic AI somewhere in the enterprise. But in no single business function does the scale deployment share exceed 10%. This is not a revolution. This is a series of skirmishes, most of them uncoordinated. Deloitte's 2026 survey of over 3,000 leaders across 24 countries adds a governance dimension that the McKinsey adoption numbers only imply. 85% of organizations expect to deploy customized AI agents within 2 years, but only 21% have a mature governance model for autonomous agents. The ambition to oversight gap is not closing, it is widening. What does that gap look like in practice? It looks like Klarna. In 2023, the Swedish fintech stopped hiring customer service staff entirely. By 2024, it claimed its AI chatbot could handle the work of 700 human agents. The CEO told Bloomberg he believed AI could already do all of the jobs humans do. By May 2025, he was singing a different song. Internal reviews revealed what the efficiency metrics had obscured. The AI delivered generic, repetitive responses that could not handle the subtlety, empathy, or judgment required in financial services. Satisfaction scores dropped, complaints rose, the chatbot had become a filter to reach human agents rather than a replacement for them. Cost unfortunately seems to have been a too predominant evaluation factor, the CEO admitted. What you end up having is lower quality. Klarna reversed course, rehiring human agents while keeping AI for routine inquiries. Klarna is not an aberration. It is the agentic shift's first prominent correction, and it will not be the last. Speed without oversight, automation without accountability, cost savings that erode the service they were meant to preserve. Gartner's prediction that more than 40% of agentic AI projects will be cancelled by end of 2027 is grounded exactly in this pattern. Most remain hype-driven experiments, and the gap between proof of concept enthusiasm and production-grade reality is where budgets go to die. The legal profession provided 2 of the sharpest early warnings about what happens when AI operates without adequate human oversight. In Mata versus Avianca, attorneys used ChatGPT to research case law for a personal injury filing in the Southern District of New York. ChatGPT fabricated 6 judicial opinions, complete with case names, citations, and legal reasoning that did not exist. When they asked ChatGPT to confirm the cases were real, it confirmed them. Judge Castle imposed $5,000 sanctions in June 2023, noting the chatbot's output constituted, in his words, gibberish. Since that ruling, courts across the United States have imposed sanctions ranging from $2,000 to $15,000 for AI hallucinated citations. Air Canada's case crossed a different boundary. Its chatbot told a customer he could book at full price and apply for a bereavement fare refund after travel. The actual policy required approval before travel. When the airline refused the refund, its defense was remarkable. It argued the chatbot was a separate legal entity responsible for its own actions. The British Columbia Tribunal rejected that entirely. An organization is responsible for all information on its website, whether it comes from a static page or a chatbot. Air Canada was ordered to pay. Both companies chose the same path: deploy first, govern later, deal with consequences in court. Meanwhile, shadow AI is growing faster than any governance team can track. 60% of workers are using AI at work, but only 18.5% are aware of any company policy governing that use. IBM's 2025 breach report shows shadow AI now accounts for 20% of all breaches, costing affected organizations an average of $670,000 more than standard incidents. Netscope found the average enterprise experiences 223 AI-related data security incidents every month. Blocking tools without providing alternatives accelerates the problem. Your employees will find a workaround before your security team updates the policy. When Gutenberg's press made information reproducible at scale, the first institutional response was control. The Catholic Church published its Index of Prohibited Books. Guilds restricted who could operate a press. Monarchs granted printing monopolies. The technology that promised to open knowledge immediately became enclosed by those who feared its consequences. The same fork confronts the agentic shift today. 85% of enterprise AI runs through proprietary systems, where the model provider controls the architecture, the training data, and the terms of use. Gartner found that only around 130 of thousands of vendors claiming agentic capabilities actually deliver genuine agentic features. The rest are rebranding chatbots and scripted automation. If your procurement team cannot distinguish genuine agency from marketing language, you will spend heavily on systems that cannot deliver what they promise. The evidence from McKinsey, Deloitte, and the first wave of agentic deployments converges on 5 practical imperatives. First, audit your AI surface area. Map every tool in use across the organization, sanctioned or not. Second, deploy approved alternatives before restricting unapproved ones. Blocking shadow AI without providing functional replacements drives usage underground. Third, govern agents as you would govern staff with defined boundaries of authority, escalation rules, and clear accountability. If a human employee would need approval to send a customer communication, the agent handling that task needs the same gateway. Fourth, start with constrained autonomy, narrow scope, clear success metrics, hybrid human-agent workflows. The agentic projects that survive Gartner's predicted cancellation wave will be those that proved value at small scale first. Fifth, redesign workflows before automating them. Layering agents onto broken processes produces faster broken processes. Workflow redesign is one of the strongest drivers of enterprise-level AI impact. What separates the 6% of high performers from everyone else? They treated AI as an organizational redesign problem. The 94% treated it as a procurement problem. The technology has arrived. The question is whether leadership has. If you are navigating AI governance in your organization, subscribe to the Hamberger Report for daily insights. That is the Hamberger Report for today. If this was useful, subscribe and hit the like button. It helps more professionals find the channel. You will find links to everything we covered in the description below. I am Andreas Hamberger, and I will see you tomorrow.